Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we are from Book 5, gonna talk about the use of various biological agents for weed control. Before we start our presentation, let me introduce ourselves. Our group members are Kiki, Sulastri, Amelia with student number 32, Teksenia Saswati with student number 189, Rustiana M with student number 192, and also Riki Setyawan with student number 201. Next. So there are our topic in this presentation. The first one is introduction, and then definition of biological agent, definition of weeds, role of biological agent in weed control, and also conclusion. Next. Introduction. The weed control process includes chemical and mechanical, as well as the use of living organisms. So far, the use of chemical weed control that relies on herbicide is preferred by farmers because of the fast way to show the result. The rapid use of chemical herbicide continuously has a negative impact on the environment, causing certain weeds to become resistant and also can lead to the emergence of new and more aggressive weeds. Therefore, we need a biological control by using plant pathogens to provide an alternative to the use of chemical control because it is more effective, safe, selective, and practical. Next, the definition of biological agent. According to the Minister of Agriculture, number 411, year 1995, the definition of biological agent is any organism which includes species, subspecies, varieties, all types of insect, nematodes, protozoa, fungus, bacteria, virus, mycoplasma, and the other organism in all stages of their development which can be used for the purpose of controlling pests and disease, or disturbing organism, production process, processing of agricultural product, and various other purposes. Judging for the usefulness of natural enemies of or biological control again, it can be divided into three groups. There are parasitoid, predators, and also pathogens. Next.
Definition of weeds. Weeds are plants whose presence is not desired by humans. Weeds that grow accompanying cultivated plants can reduce yield both in quality and quantity. The presence of weeds causes competition between the main crop and weeds. Weeds affect growth and reduce crop yield in several ways, namely competition for water, nutrients, space to grow, carbon dioxide, and light. Removing toxin or allelopathy that inhibits plant growth as a host as for pests and disease. Parasitic, for example, striga wheat is detrimental to sorghum and reduce the efficiency of land use, fertilizer, and water. Next, role of biological agent in weed control. Weed population can be controlled using natural enemies in the form of pests, disease, or fungus that can suppress or kill weeds, but have no impact on cultivated crops. The condition that must be met by natural enemies are first, does not damage cultivated plants, and the second, the leaf cycle in accordance with the weeds being eradicated. That is, our population will increase if the weeds population increases, and vice versa. And the last, able to the kill weeds or at least prevent weeds from forming seed, able to reproduce and spread to other areas for growth with host plant.
Okay, biological weed control or or with biocontrol is the use of natural enemies, living organisms other than humans to reduce weed population. With biocontrol, especially using pathogenic fungus, has recently received serious attention from research in developed countries because besides being quite effective as chemical control, it also has very little side effect on the environment. One of the weed pathogenic fungus is rust fungus from order Originalis. Rust are a candidate for biocontrol materials that have good prospect for controlling weeds because they can cause heavy damage and have a very specific host. Next. The development and application of P. philippinensis rust sponges is carried out by means of augmentation, namely the pathogen used is a pathogen obtained where the weed is a problem but cannot be formulated because the pathogen used in obligate parasite and its application is carried out by releasing a large amount of spores and at a time conducive to the development of the rust sponges. For example, the Raspanjas P. canaliculata, which was found to attack yellow nutseed in the United States, has been developed to control these weeds with an augmentation approach. P. canaliculata, if applied at the right time, condition conducive to development of fungus, and in sufficient quantities can inhibit flowering and the formation of weed tubers. Next.
And then utilization of the slot Italy Neconsina sp as biological control agent of water hyacinth have been widely used. In Indonesia, water hyacinth biological control using the biological agent has been developed since 3 decades ago. This activity began the introduction of two neconsine species, namely an Alexorniae Werner in 1175 and Alexorniae imago is already on the water hyacinth plant and will immediately feed on the leaf of the grass. This indicates that an Alexorniae has a high preference and high degree of host concentration towards water hyacinth. Based on the ratio of observation, the intensity of leaf, the make and number of an Alexorniae plant per leaf hyacinth, it can be seen that the Italy of population has a significant effect of water hyacinth. This is closely related to the abundance of individual of this biological agent, which is very high, can cause the water hyacinth above the surface of the water to die and sink to the bottom of the lake. The increase in abundance of an Alexorniae individual tends of result in a decrease in biomass and number of leaf per hyacinth clone. Next. And then conclusion, biological agent partly include organisms good thus used for pest control and for the production process. Biological control agent can be namely parasitator and pathogens. In the use of biological control agent consists of introduction, conversation, and augmentation. Example of the use of biological agents for weed control are the use and actionai to control water hyacinth with the result being able to reduce biomass and number of leaf per clump in water hygiene and the use ratio of control measure. Thanks. And thank you for your attention. If you have a question, just comment in link has been provided. Thank you.